tired of being seated near her sister who was reading a book under a tree.
My sister read a book without any pictures. Oh, if it weren't so hot, I would be making a daisy chain.
Suddenly, a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. The rabbit said to himself,
Oh dear, time is out. I will be late.
Alice was surprised. Then she saw how the rabbit took out a watch from his waistcoat pocket and looked at it, and ran away. Alice stood up quickly.
A rabbit with a waistcoat and a watch. I have to catch it.
Alice ran across the field after the rabbit, and when she was about to catch it, the little animal went inside a large rabbit hole under the hedge and said,
I can't be late.
Alice followed the rabbit and went inside. The rabbit hole went straight on like a tunnel for somewhere, and then dipped suddenly down.
A very deep well, but I'm falling very slowly. It's strange. The sides of the well are filled with cupboards and bookshelves, and there are pictures and maps. Over there's a jar of strawberry jam. I will eat it. Oh, it's empty. I will put it on the lower cupboard, because if I throw it away, I can hurt somebody. When will this well go to end? I may have fallen milk and milk.
Suddenly, the little girl fell into a pool of dry leaves without getting hurt. Alice stood up, and there was another long passage, and there was the white rabbit still running.
Oh, my ears and whiskers. No, I'm really late.
Once again, the little girl was about to catch it, when the rabbit turned to a corner and disappeared. Alice was in a great long room, very well lit up, and surrounded by doors of different sizes. Tried to open them.
All the doors are locked. How I am going to get out of here? I should have brought my little cat. That way I wouldn't feel so lonely. Over there, in the middle of the room, there's a glass table. But where did it come from? A few minutes ago, it wasn't there. I'm sure of that. Over the table, there's a tiny golden key. It's too small. It doesn't open any door.
However, on the second time around, Alice saw behind the curtain a very tiny door. Tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her great delight, the door opened. The door led into a small narrow passage. She knelt down and looked along the passage, the loveliest garden she had ever seen.
Oh, I want to go to that garden, but how could I? I will never fit through the little door. Oh, if I could shut up like a telescope, then I could surely go to that garden. I will sleep over the table and can find another key. Oh, well, there is no other key. But what is this bottle? It wasn't here before. It says in the label, drink me. I will see it doesn't say potion. No, nothing indicates it's potion. I will test it. I like it. I will drink the whole bottle. I will strain. I'm getting smaller, just like a telescope.
She was now only 10 inches high. Then she went to the little door, hoping to get out to the garden. But poor Alice, the door was locked and she forgot the key over the table. She tried to get it climbing up one of the legs of the table, but since it was made of glass, it was too slippery. Then she sat down on the floor and cried.
I'm behaving like a fool. There's no crying. But under the table, there's a little box.
Alice opened the little box and said,
It has a cake that says, "Eat me." Well, I will eat it. Something marvelous has to happen. I have learned that in this place, everything is marvelous.
She ate a little bit, but she noticed there was no difference, so she kept eating until she finished the whole cake. Then,
I am getting bigger. Goodbye, dear feet. We're almost out of sight, so hurry up. When I want to change my shoes, I will have to send them with a messenger with a note that says, "These shoes are a gift from Alice to her own feet." Oh, what nonsense I'm thinking. What's worse is that I keep growing. Oh, I hurt my head with the roof. I'm more than 9 feet high. I'm a big girl, but now I can take the key.
but the only thing she could do was to lie down on the floor and look through the door into the garden with one eye. Then she began to cry again.
I shall be ashamed of myself. It's not right that the great like me cries like a baby.
But she kept crying and crying until there was a large pool to terrace all around her. Then she heard some footsteps, and at last she stopped crying. There it was, the white rabbit, very splendidly dressed with a pair of white clothes in one hand and a pan in the other.
Oh, by this time the Duchess must be safe. I can't keep her waiting, Anna.
Mr. Rabbit, wait please, just a moment. Listen to me.
When the rabbit heard Alice, it got scared and dropped the white clothes and the fan, and ran away as fast as it could. Alice picked up clothes and the fan, and since it was hot, she fanned herself and said,
Not today. Yesterday everything was so normal. Oh, I'm getting smaller again. I wonder why. Maybe it's the fan.
The fan just when she saw about to disappear.
No, I can go to that garden. But watch this. I have paddled in salt water.
The salt water was her own pool of tears she had wept when she was 9 feet high.
I wish I hadn't cried so much.
She started to swim when she heard something splashing in the pool.
Someone is swimming. Oh, it's a hippopotamus. No, it's a walrus. Oh, it's a mouse. But besides now I am small. I see it too. I will talk to the mouse. Maybe it can answer me.
So she said,
Tell me, mouse, do you know the way out of this pool?
the mouse looked at her, but it didn't answer. Alice thought that maybe the mouse didn't understand English, so she said the only thing she could remember in French,
Or is my chatting?
which means, where is my cat? Suddenly, the mouse got out of the water.
Oh, please forgive me. I forgot mice don't like cats.
Look, little girl, I have my own reasons to be a cat. Someday, we'll tell you my story, then you will understand how I feel. But let's swim
and many more.
Alice swam near the little animals. After a while, they were on shore.
Where are we?
Alvin, what do you think, Peter?
I think we should have a ride course.
A red course? What's that?
We don't know. Look, it's a sort of cracker, but the ship doesn't really matter. When I say ready, everybody will start running. Ready, go!
Everybody started running, and half an hour later, the parrot said,
Everybody is right. The ride is over.
Over?
Everybody has won. All of you have won too.
Isn't she going to upright?
Of course, she is. Let's see a week. What else do you have in your outer pockets?
Let me see. Only a thimble.
Give it to me. Please, I kept this elegant thimble as a praise.
They all cheered. Alice knew that everything was so strange, but when she saw their faces so grave, she didn't dare laugh, so she just said,
It's an honor for me to accept this beautiful prize. My thimble was just what I needed. Dear Mom, you promised to tell me your story. I will be glad to hear it.
I know that my story is very sad and long as my tail.
Your tail is long.
The girl was looking at the mouse's tail, but she didn't know why was it sad. Alice didn't pay attention to the mouse's story. So when the mouse finished talking, he said,
Little girl, you are not playing at tennis. What are you thinking of? I have a knot in my throat.
A knot. Oh, let me help you undo it. I always undo the ribbon my cat has in her neck.
Young lady, you insult me and own me.
You almost get offended.
You know education. I am leaving.
He's gone. Now can I talk with the parrot and the bird about Dino, my cat?
Friends, we can't help this girl. That's why the mouse left me.
Please don't leave me alone. They're gone. I should have never talked about Dino. In this strange country, nobody likes cats. Someone is coming. Maybe it's the mouse who changed his mind. But no, it's the white rabbit.
Audacious! Oh, my fur and biscuits! Shall I get me? Exit? As sure as 2 plus 2 are 8. Where did I leave the gloves?
The rabbit was looking for the gloves and the fan. Alice wishing to help, Megan looking for them. But everything was changed since they were swimming in the pool. Like magic, the room had vanished completely. At last the rabbit noticed Alice and said,
Mar Ann, what are you doing, QR? Run home this moment and bring me a pair of gloves and a fan, quick now!
Alice was so frightened that she ran off at once in the direction it pointed to. without trying to explain the mistake it had made.
He took me for his housemate, but I didn't take him his pen and glove. That is, if I can find them.
As she said this, she came upon a very beautiful little house, on the door of which was a bright brass plate with the name White R engraved upon it.
White R? Maybe it means white rabbit. I will go in. I hope I don't find this really Mary Ann. Anyway, it's funny. I'm the messenger of a rabbit. Oh, how lucky I am. Over the table there is a pair of balls and a fan, and a little bottle. I will drink it, and I hope I can grow large again. I'm getting tired of being so small.
In fact, as soon as she drank the little bottle, she grew so fast that she had to take an arm out of the window and a leg up chimney. Fortunately, the little magic bottle had no effect. Still, it was very uncomfortable, and since there was no chance of getting out of the room again, she started crying. After a while, she heard a voice outside.
Answer me! Where are my pen of flowers? Can't you hear me? What is going on? The door is not opening. Mary Ann, tell me why you locked the door. Answer me. Very good. Then I log on into the window.
Rabbit was just under the window when Alice opened her hand and made a snatch in the air, but she didn't catch anything. Then there was a crash of broken glass, and the rabbit shouted.
Oh! Next the rabbit with an Annie could say, Pet! Pet! Where are you, Pet? Pet!
Here I am, digging for apples.
Come and help me get here. Tell me what you see in the window.
I see an arm, Your Honor.
What do you mean, an arm? Who has ever seen an arm to be?
Well, I insist it's an arm.
Then, why is an arm good there? Take it by.
I am scared of the arm.
Don't be coward. Then go smell the chimney. I ordered to do it.
Very well. I will go down the chimney.
Tell us all about it.
I don't know. Suddenly, I was thrown the air like a skyrocket.
We called the dead and said there's nothing else we can do. We must burn the house down.
And you, Mr. Rabbit, if you burn the house, I will seize my cat Dina at you. I am warning you. She likes to eat rabbits.
There was silence instantly, and Alice waited for an answer. At last she felt a shower of little pebbles coming from the window, and some of them hit her in the face. Alice noticed that the pebbles were all turning into little cakes as they lay on the floor, and a bright idea came into her head.
I will eat one of these cakes, and I hope I will not grow bigger.
She ate cake and she began shrinking. As soon as he was small enough to get through the door. She ran out of the house and found a crowd of little animals around a lizard which was packed. Who was in the middle of them? Then they saw her. They chased her. But Alice ran off as hard as she could and soon found herself safe in a horse.
Now I have to eat or drink something to grow to my right size again. I wonder what it will be.
Near her there was a big mushroom. She stretched herself up on tiptoe and dipped over the edge of the mushroom, and she saw a large blue caterpillar that was sitting on the top smoking a long hookah. The caterpillar and Alice looked at each. At last the caterpillar took the hookah out of its mouth and talked to her in a long-eared voice.
Who are you?
I suppose I don't know. At last I know who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have been changed several times since then.
What do you mean by that? Explain yourself.
I'm afraid I can't explain myself, but when you have to turn into creatures and then after that into a butterfly, you will feel like I do.
I'm Charles Solid, butterfly. I don't like the idea. Now tell me, who are you?
It's better if I go, Mr. Caterpillar, or we will start the conversation all over again. Put the hookah into your mouth and start smoking again. See you.
Come back. I have something important to say.
Just turn and come back again.
What is this?
Keep your temper.
Is that all?
Of course not. So you think you have changed?
I don't think so. I don't keep the same size for 15 minutes together.
Are you contact now?
Impossible. I would like to be a little larger. I must measure 3 inches height. It's ridiculous.
It's a very good height. That's what I measure.
Forgive me, Mr. Caterpillar. Don't feel offended, but I'm not used to big, too small.
You'll get used to it.
And began smoking again. Then it took the hookah out of its mouth and yawned several times. Then it got down off the mushroom and crawled away in the grass and said,
One side will make you grow taller, and the other side will make you grow shorter.
One side of what? The other side of what?
Of the mushroom, everybody smokes at that.
As soon as the caterpillar left, Alice stretched her arms and cut a piece of the mushroom, one piece with her right arm and another piece with her left arm. Then she ate a little from both hands until she was of normal size. Then she put some bread in her pocket, and he kept walking through the forest. Suddenly, she saw a large black cat who was grinning from ear to ear. It was Cheshire Cat.
Oh, will you tell me, please, which way I have to go from here?
Ha ha ha. It depends on where you want to get to.
I don't care that much.
See, it doesn't matter which way you go.
As long as I get somewhere. What kind of people live here?
To do that lies Hatter and thought live might here visit are you like the department?
But I don't like mad people.
We are mad here. I am mad your man. Because you are here. Tell me, are you going to play cricket with the Queen today?
I like cricket, but I haven't been invited yet.
Anna, you see me dream.
Vanish it quite slowly. First its tail, then its legs, next its body, and finally its scream.
Ha 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 ha.
This is funny. I've often seen a cat without a grip, but a grip without a cat. I will go visit her.
He hadn't gone much further when she saw the house of the March Hare. Its chimneys were shaped like ears and the roof was made of fur. She walked towards the house and ate a small piece of the magical mushroom. There was a table set out under a tree in front of the house, and the March Hare and the Hatter were having tea at it. A dormouse was sitting between them, was fast asleep, and the other two were using it as a cushion. The table was large, but their three were all crowded together at the corner of it. When Alice approached them, they said,
"There's no room for you. There's no room."
Of course there is. I will sit down in that armchair.
Then drink some wine.
Drink wine if there's only tea.
I knew there wasn't any wine.
Then why are you telling me to drink it? You are not being polite.
Well, it's also not polite to sit down without being invited.
I didn't know it was your table. It's set for more than 4.
Meanwhile, the Hatter was looking at Alice silently. Finally, he said,
"You should cut your hair too long."
I can see that they didn't tell you not to make personal remarks.
Tell me why you are able like writing this.
I like riddles. I think I can use that.
Do you mean you know the answers?
Yes, I do.
Tell me what you think. Say what you mean.
I do. At least I mean what I say. It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. It's the same thing to say see what's in us. What say or I like what how it's us. I hear what I like or breathe. When I sleep very bright.
There was silence for a minute, while Alice thought over all she could remember about Rabbits and writing desks. Then the Hatter said while looking at his watch,
"What day is today?"
It's the Pope.
This watch is wrong for 2 days. I told your March Hare that butter rolled you.
It's not the bad butter. Let me see your watch. I dipped it into tea and blew off its words.
But the funny watch. It has the day of the month, but not the time.
Does your watch tell what year it is?
Of course not.
Then I see nothing strange with me. The Dormouse is asleep again. Our poor little Hottie is lost. Now that I remember, do you have the answer to the riddle?
No, I give up. What's the answer?
We don't have the slightest idea. Isn't it right, Marcia?
That's right. We are getting bored. Tell us a story, young lady.
Right now, I can't remember any.
Then the Dormouse will.
But the Dormouse is sleeping.
Hey,
Tell us something.
Yes, please.
Don't talk, young lady.
Alice was angry at his rudeness. She stood up and walked off. Neither of the others tried to stop her, so she looked back on or twice, half hoping that they would call after her. The last time she saw them, they were trying to put the Dormouse into the teapot.
I don't want to see you again. Oh, in that tree, there's a little door. I will go in, but that's a beautiful. Sorry, I don't want to see you again. Oh, in that tree, there's a little door. I will go in, but that's a beautiful garden. That tree, there's a little door. I will go in, but what's a beautiful garden? It's the one I have through the little door in that room. There are colorful flowers and cool fountains.
A large rose tree stood near the entrance of the garden. The rose is growing on it were white, but there were 3 pocket cards who were gardeners busily painting them red. Alice heard their conversation.
Look, Alfie, you're splashing paint all over me.
it wasn't me. It was Seven. He pushed me with his elbow.
You are always believing me.
Not me. It was Seven. He pushed me with his elbow. Yesterday the queen said you deserved to be beheaded.
Why?
That's none of your reasons to look at like a girl.
Will you be so kind to tell me why you're a pig?
Miss, we made a mistake. We planted a white rose tree.
Honestly, nobody knows. What's your name, child?
Alice, Your Majesty.
Added to herself.
I shouldn't be afraid. They're only a pack of cards.
And who are these on the floor? All my characters are the same on the opposite side. Answer me, Alice.
How should I know? It's none of my business.
I'll beat her head.
Harriet! One moment I, the king, have the right to speak. Don't you see, my dear queen, that she is only a child? Maybe she knows how to play cricket.
She knows how to play. I will forgive. Alice, follow me. Stand beside the rabbit.
Hello, Mr. Rabbit. We finally meet again. Where's the Duchess?
Quit! She will be exit.
Why?
She was late. The queen was angry, and the Duchess slapped her.
Funny.
The queen healed you. We have it hurried to the court ground.
The ground was strange. It was all bright and frost. The balls were live hedgehogs. The malice like flamingos, and the soldiers had to double themselves up and to stand on their hands and feet to make their arches. When the queen shooted, people began running in all directions, tumbling up against each other. But when someone was about to beat the queen, she shouted,
"Oh, beat his head!"
Alice played as best as she could, but when she beat the queen, she said,
"Oh, beat her head!"
You can't touch my head. I have the right to be jacket.
Very well, let's go to my place.
Last time Alice entered the palace, accused of beating the queen in a croquet game. There was a jury. The Hatter and the March Hare were the members of the jury. Alice imagined herself without her hat, so she took from her pocket a piece of cake, ate it, and said to herself,
If I go to my full size, I will be safe. It's my only change. Yes, I'm growing. I'm getting bigger and bigger.
I say the sentence first, then the verdict of with her head.
I don't think you can make it. Queen of Hearts, you're nothing but a card, and I am big.
I order you to be quiet.
Not be quiet. All of you are only a pack of cards. I'm not afraid of you.
Then all cards stood up and angrily came flying down upon her. The little girl tried to beat them all, but she couldn't. She tried to stand up, but then she found out she had her head in the lap of her sister, and that everything had been a wonderful dream.
Dear sister, I had such a curious dream. Sometime I will tell you about it.
Suddenly